Hello. For my case study project, I've interviewed a student named Andres, who I won't have the opportunity to demonstrate this lesson with, but I have my daughter Elizabeth. And basically, I'm going to use three strategies. The first one is going to be the 5-point scale. We're also going to discuss a daily schedule, also with the social skills story. I'd like to start off with a 5-point scale. And Elizabeth, if you look at this scale, it's numbered 1 through 5. 1 being happy, 2 being a little bored, 3 being confused, 4 being sad, and 5 being extremely angry. And there have been occasions where you've had little problems because you enjoy doing a certain activity, but then when it's time to change to another, you become upset. And maybe if you're not allowed to do something your way, you become upset as well. So we're going to talk about your anger and even tantrums and what they are. So we're going to use this, and I'm going to ask you, well, right now, how do you feel right now? Point to one of these 5. Do you feel happy? You feel good? You're bored? You don't care? Confused? You don't know what to do? You're sad because you're not feeling good, or you're angry? You're really upset? Just point to one of those. Okay. All right. So we're going to be doing this during the day, during changes from one subject, like maybe reading, to math. And we'll see how you're feeling before we change the class and after the change of class. Another thing that's going to help us is a daily schedule. This way you're not surprised when I say, okay students, let's get ready we're going to do math now, stop what you're doing. You know, here's our daily schedule. And as you can see, our daily schedule begins with reading. Do you like to read?
Yes.
Good. And we have writing, and right after that, we have recess. And everybody likes recess. You'll get to talk and play with your friends. And then when we return, we'll have these other activities like math and so on. But what I'm going to do to try to help you with your anger, so that you do not become upset, I'm going to let you know 10 minutes before the period, the change from one subject to another. To get ready, in 10 minutes we're going to be changing into a writing or whatever it might be. So start getting yourself ready, finish what you're doing, and we're going to see if this helps you. Because as I mentioned, sometimes you become angry because you like doing a certain activity, and when you have to stop and do something else, you become upset. And you know, being upset is a normal thing. It happens to all of us, but it's the way we control ourselves, the way we act in front of others. And I have social skill stories that has to do with tantrums. Do you know what a tantrum is?
Yeah.
What do you know a tantrum to be?
Acting out.
Acting out, okay. Well, I have a little story about a girl like yourself, and she had problems with anger. So let me read it along with you. This story is about understanding and dealing with anger. And as you can see, one girl she looks really upset, and the other girl is wondering, what's going on? Why is she acting that way? Here we see a tantrum is an outburst of bad temper or anger. And you can see she's continuing to do this. And this girl is not understanding. She goes, what's going on? So when we get real upset, and there's nothing wrong with becoming upset, but the way she becomes upset is she falls on the floor, like we can see here. She's probably yelling, and her friends are maybe don't know what's going on, or maybe afraid. When you're angry, You might become angry if people do not do what you want to do. And here we see this little girl asking for her father's time. And I'm sure the father is really happy and interested in being with his daughter, but at this moment he's saying he can't be with her, and she's becoming upset, like it has to be her way. So a lot of times, not just change from one activity to another, but wanting your own way will get you upset. You might become angry if you do something you do not want to do. Getting back to changing from what subject do you like? Reading, writing, math. Which of those subjects do you enjoy?
Reading.
Reading. And sometimes if you're reading and we tell everyone that we're moving on to writing or math, people get mad because they do not want to do what they're being asked to do. They don't want to change. And here we can see, that you can become angry if you must do something you do not want to do, and that could be changing. You might become angry if you can't have something you want. And I can remember the times I used to go to the store, and here we can see where they're in a store, it appears, and she's asking for something, and her father says, no, we can't do that right now, for whatever reason. And she becomes angry because of that. You might become angry if things do not happen the way you want them to happen. And here we see another case of her maybe playing a game and maybe not winning, and she becomes upset. So it's not only changing from something you like to something I really don't like it, or maybe not getting, but it could be also if you're, in this case, playing with someone and the end result doesn't come out as you're hoping it will be, then you could become angry. Another thing, you might hurt yourself or others if you become angry and throw a tantrum. As we saw in the picture, she's sitting on the floor. If you remember on the first pictures we saw, the girl had thrown herself on the ground. And maybe the possibility of knocking something over, which could have hurt her, or maybe hurt someone else, or done other damage. So this is one of the things that can result of somebody becoming so angry they throw a tantrum. You might ruin something if you throw a tantrum. Just like the girl who threw herself and hurt her knee or her foot, she could have maybe hurt her foot on a table, knocked over a lamp, and she would have ruined or damaged the lamp. So throwing tantrums can cause big problems, hurting yourself, hurting others, or damaging things. People around you may not want to be around you. That's what I found to be true. That when someone becomes angry a lot and throws tantrums, people don't want to be around them. And soon they lose them as friends. So that's one of the reasons why we should consider not letting our anger, hurt our relationship, our friends. All this story does not mean you shouldn't get angry, but there's a way to try to help control the anger. And one way is to talk to someone about how you feel and why you feel angry. A lot of times it's good to just share what is making us upset, why we feel unhappy, and we'll get some help from an adult or from a friend. One way is to not only talking to a friend, but try to keep away from some of those things that make you angry. Now, we can't keep away from the activities in school, but by talking to a friend, we can learn to make the transition, make the move from one to another without any problems. But another way is to get away from things that might make you angry. It's important to deal with your anger properly, the right way. And when we do that, we maintain our friendships with other people. We play with them, but if we understand that maybe we shouldn't do certain things because we might get upset, it's probably best not to do those things, to get involved with them. So our little story here tells us that anger is a normal thing, but it's not a normal and an okay thing to become so angry that we throw tantrums. So as I shared with our 5-point scale, and how are you feeling right now? Still feeling bored? You feel happy? How do you feel?
Number 1.
This one here? You feel a little happy? Good. Well, hopefully it's because now you've learned that being angry is a normal thing. But the way we express, we show that anger, can become a problem. And we're hoping that now that you understand the daily schedule, and I know you like certain activities more than others, but once we let you know ahead of time, we'll be moving on. Hopefully, you know, that anger that you used to display in the past, showing in the past here, we'll see less and less of this. And your mother will be able to help you at home with the activities that go on with your family. So we'll be doing this for a period of a few weeks. These strategies were implemented in Andrew's, Lizzie's life, and the mother and the teacher shared that there's been progress, so that they feel it's important to continue them. So once again, this was a case study on throwing tantrums and being able to control them using the 5-point scale, using a daily schedule, and also the importance of using social skill stories whenever possible.